In this video, I'm going to show you how to automate intro class booking for Jiu-Jitsu academies without using any AI. And this should be helpful for you if you're kind of got a level 1 or 2 academy. This is kind of an arbitrary thing that I've written out, but it helps to kind of clarify where you're at and what the challenges are. So the level 1 would be inconsistent, personal inconsistency. So you're not able to always reply to leads straight away. Either you've got other commitments or you just forget or can't be bothered, whatever it is. But obviously that sabotages the success of your academy if you're not consistently following up with leads and responding to them straight away, whatever the reason. The second level is where you are actually able to consistently reply to these leads. And these level 1 and 2 are the most common, like the ones of most of the owners that I've spoken to. This is where they fall. So the level 2 is you'll kind of end up sacrificing other time because you're so dedicated to quickly responding to leads and being very dedicated to that. It means that you sacrifice time with loved ones. It makes it harder to scale your academy, either open extra locations or have any time off. So you kind of end up stuck in it in that way as well. So this video is a big part of how you can get to level 3, which is outsourced consistency. And typically this is done with hiring a receptionist or someone to kind of manage the day-to-day and the bookings for the academy. But I'm going to show you an automated approach that can combine with a receptionist and someone you hire to specifically manage the gym, or it can just massively reduce the amount of workload you have to do, and also mean you sign up more people as well. So we'll get into that in a sec. If you don't know me already, I'm George, been grappling for 8 years, making websites for 10 years, and last year and a half I've been working specifically with grappling academies to help them get more new students and do that with less work as well. And to be completely transparent, my selfish reason for doing this video and sharing all this stuff that I've been working on is because I want you to hire me to save you time. But I obviously want to make sure that you're going to get something out of this video, so you watch the whole video. And yeah, you can literally just copy this. I'm going to share this system that no one else I've seen doing anything like this, to be honest. And yeah, you can just copy it, implement it yourself. You'll save yourself loads of time. You'll get more members. So you should be able to get something out of this video either way. And I'm going to show you all of the screenshots, like the individual pages, everything, how it works. But here's like an overview of what the system actually is. So essentially it's just a series of pages that we set up and a series of automated messages, which I've developed over the last year and a half. And we've kind of got it to strike a balance because there's certain messages that need to get sent out consistently. Like make sure we always remind every single person of the class, that we follow up with every single person after the class. But we also don't want to barrage people with loads of automated messages. So we kind of, I've tried to make it as simple as it possibly can be, but not more simple than it needs to be. So it still leaves some space for human interaction for those times where someone's got a very specific question that you couldn't have anticipated, or maybe they're just feeling a bit nervous or something like that, that they'll need to speak to you directly. So we allow space for that. But for the people, and you might be surprised how many people will just happily go through the system without needing to send any extra messages. A lot of people will just be fully automated through the process. So yeah, it helps you with getting more intro classes booked, and often, again, this doesn't require any back and forth messages or any calls. Get more of those people to show up by sending a reminder to everyone at the perfect time. And again, yeah, no messages or calls typically needed in this phase. Then once people actually show up for their intro class, all you need to do is just select whether the person attended or not, and then that will trigger the specific automation that will follow up with them, either getting them to sign up for a membership or saying like, hey, sorry, we missed you. here's how you can book another class. So I'll just walk you through the actual pages that are live for one of my clients now, and you can see exactly how this would work for your own academy. So on the actual website, where you click like book a free class, it will bring you to this page. You can also link to this from your Instagram account or wherever else you like. So it brings us this calendar. Obviously, we can edit these things. As a side, actually, for this owner, it was like there were 2 classes that he initially advertised as like, okay, these are the beginner classes you should come to if you're a beginner. However, sometimes people could not actually make those classes. So we added this as a caveat. So like these other ones are suitable for beginners, but they're not like the ideal class. So obviously the more options you have, the more likely someone is to start doing jiu-jitsu. So we want to give as many options as possible for people to start. And we just kind of explain that over here. And again, with the calendar, here's another little extra bit, is making sure, the calendar only goes 7 days in advance. If we start adding more days, then people start booking like too far ahead, and then they kind of forget about it. So like you want to get people booking straight away, basically, while they're still kind of inspired, and they can just get straight on it. So yeah, they can just choose the time or choose the date, select the time, and then they'll come to this page where they can put in their name, email, and phone. And we've also added a training waiver. This is an optional thing, but if you've got one, then we can just link to it here, and they can confirm that they accept the risks associated with martial arts training. So you just know every single person who books through here and signs up for an intro class has already signed that waiver. We can collect additional emergency contact information and stuff later, but just to make sure that they've signed that training waiver, this is a great way to make sure it's just done for 100% of people. We've also got a little chat box here, so if anyone has got any questions, then they can just send you a message here and you'll get it straight to your phone, and you can just text them back as soon as you get the message. But as I was saying before, you'll be surprised once you get this set up, how many people will happily just book in and they'll show up to a class and they'll sign up for a membership, and you've only spoken to them in person. You've not had to do back and forth over text and everything. So once they've popped in their information, once they've consented, they'll just click book a free class, and then they go through to actually, let me get the page up actually. One sec. I thought I had everything prepped. So once they have booked in that class, we need to give them a confirmation so that, they have all the information they need to. Often there's a lot of stuff that's kind of done manually, really, or you'll send the same messages again and again. Maybe you've got templates for, the message or the email that you send, but this just makes it super clear that everyone gets the same information, and it's only if they require something unusual that they can get in contact with you. So yeah, once the person has submitted the form, they'll come to this saying that it's successful, and to please read this to make sure they have a good first class. So we have a summary of which things they need to bring, telling them to arrive 10 minutes early as well, a nice photo, the location and address, and then links to social media as well. If you've got a welcome video, that is awesome to have here, because you got to remember, once someone's booked in a class, they're not necessarily gonna show up. They haven't fully committed often, so we need to keep giving them reasons to sign up and giving them positive reinforcement. So especially getting them onto your social media is awesome, because if for some reason they don't show up to the class, then maybe you run a beginner course in the future, and they're just following you, and they're gonna be more likely to start if they're following you on Instagram. So that's the process of the pages. Now we're going to get into the actual messages that we send. So we've done booking, the details page, and the thank you page, and next is the first message. And I'm going to show you as an example. Actually, this is the first time that this process fully worked, where Keith, who owns Concept BJJ Academy, he got someone who signed up for a membership, and he didn't have to send a single custom or manual message. The entire process was automated, and all he did was literally just tap to say the person attended, and he obviously taught the class and greeted the person there as well. But he didn't even sign them up for membership himself. So yeah, I'm going to show you the process is pretty much the same. There's been some updates since this, and it will vary for different accounts. But essentially, it's this same process, and I wanted to show this as this is like a pivotal moment when this first, like, the vision first fully worked. Anyway, first message. So the lead will get this a couple minutes, like 3 minutes after they've entered their information, and you can set a window for what time. You know, if you don't want it to message them if they sign up at 3 a.m. or something, you can put a time bracket in which it will respond. But this is so crucial to just get back to people straight away before they start looking at other academies and stuff as well. So it greets them by their name, introduces the owner, says thanks for booking the class, has the name of the child that they put in if it's a parent, the time, the day, and ask them if, you know, let them know if they've got any questions. And we also have this saying that you can stop to opt out of these SMS. That's for compliance. It's like a legal requirement to let people know that they can opt out from these automated messages. Some people do it, some people don't, but you are supposed to have it. Then at this point, sometimes this is where there could be some manual contact. You know, if the person does have additional questions that weren't answered by the website or, you know, that final thank you page, then they can ask that here. In this case, Kyle didn't ask any questions, so that was easy. But occasionally some people will at this point, but they're not as time sensitive, and usually you can just answer them when you see them. And the crucial things of getting back to them straight away and reminding them of the class are all taken care of. I have looked at AI solutions for this. I can say for certain that, like, anything just out of the box straight away for dealing with these types of questions is not going to be consistent, is not going to work well. I've got this to the point where it does work pretty well, but still there are some edge cases, and it's not able to update its information very effectively. So yeah, I would be wary of trying to automate these types of messages, because it's often it will start lying. It will make up things about your academy because it wants to give an answer to the person who's asked the question. And sometimes, like if it asks about parking and you haven't given the bot information about parking, quite often it will just make up information about parking, or it will just say that it doesn't know, and then the bot hasn't helped at all. So I guess I'm getting a bit sidetracked here, but like I think with the current technology, it's actually technically possible to set up an AI solution that would actually do this as well as a receptionist, pretty much. However, it's a lot more work than I think it might seem like on the surface to actually get this a reliable system that you would be happy to kind of stake your business on. So then there's the reminder message. This goes out, I think, 3 hours before the first class. Greets the person, says just checking that they're all set up for the class at this time, and then gives them another reminder, because you can't tell people this stuff enough. Another reminder about arriving early and, you know, trimming their nails, what clothes to bring, and then also ask for a confirmation, like, is that okay? You can imagine, like, if this gets sent out consistently to every single person who's signed up, lots more people are going to actually show up to the classes because they're being reminded and they're confirming that this is going to happen, especially when this is a break to their regular routine. Like, it really helps to have a reminder. So they can visualize, okay, when I finish work, I've got to go there. I need to make sure I'm this time. Okay, I need to trim my nails. What clothes can I wear? Like, you're making sure it's in their head. If they haven't thought about it, it might be last minute and then they get nervous and then they don't come. So getting them to verbally commit is super important, and you'll find a load more people show up doing this. This is the reply confirmation. You just said, yep, all set, and that they'll be there 10 minutes early, which is awesome. And then this step is slightly different because this is an SMS that gets sent to the owner. So Keith received this SMS to his mobile, and whoever is the instructor assigned to these classes will receive this message. And this will come like an hour after the class has started. So all it says is, did Carl and their child Noah show up? Select the automation you'd like to run. So based on this, it will send a new text message. So Keith tapped this link, which triggered the correct automation because Kyle and Noah showed up. But if they didn't attend, then it would send them a different message saying something to the effect of, hey, sorry you weren't able to come today. Just click this link to book, and hopefully I'll see you next week. Something like that. And then obviously this marks them separately if they signed up in person. Then you don't need to send them that extra text, but you can still thank them for coming and maybe ask them for a review or something like that. And this is the follow-up message that's triggered from them, from the owner confirming they attended, just saying, hey Carl, hope Noah had a great first class. Love to have you back next week. So check out the membership options. Let me know if you've got any questions. And just a link. And when they click this link, there's options for the different membership. They can sign up for a monthly, or they can sign up for bulk memberships up to a year, which is, as a side point, a great way to improve your cash flow. If you have it so people sign up for multi-month memberships. Keith has a lot of people who end up going for often like 3 months. I don't know the exact numbers of how many people go for that, but quite a few people are actually signing up for 3 months at a time, which just gives you an extra chunk of money that you can use to spend on marketing or whatever other things you need to spend on. And here it is. This is the official payment. Is actually like the lowest level, the cheapest membership he offers. But it was just kind of what this represented, that this is the first time it fully worked. Literally all he did was tap once and actually taught the class, and that was it. And now this is a consistent thing that happens for all my clients who've got this set up. They just get members and they reply to the occasional message, but far fewer. And the process just kind of works smoothly anyway. So yeah, it's something I'm really pleased with, how it actually works, based on what I'd envisioned for it. So I'll show you quickly behind the scenes of how the automations work. Again, your first time seeing this is probably going to be a bit overwhelming, especially if you're not used to it. But just to give you a rough idea of how things look behind the scenes. So where are we? Okay, I need to go back here. Sorry. So we're going to go back into the automation section, and in here we've got all the different automations set up for this account. I'm going to check in on the one which is for parents who have booked in classes for their child. So this automation will trigger when someone confirms their appointment and that it's in this calendar, which is the under 16s calendar. So that's how we know that this is the right person is entering this automation. Then it checks if it's their first booking. We've got a separate flow for rescheduling, which I won't get into now. And then we fix the child's name. This is, yeah, I found that people were sometimes putting in multiple children at a time, or the child's full name, and we wanted to change it to the child's first name so that the messages sounded more natural. So that just sends it to ChatGPT, then it fixes the name and sends it back. So yeah, there's a few things along the way that have just been little issues, little things that are making it not quite feel as human or not quite work as smoothly, that have kind of been fixed along the way. And we go through here, we kind of mark it so that we know what sort of lead this is and what stage they're at. Then this is 3 minutes after they've initially booked. We send that text message that I showed you before, which is saying, hey, thanks for booking. Let me know if you've got any questions. Then 4 hours before the class, we check if they're ready for the trial class, get their confirmation. Then after the class, we send that message to the owner, checking if they set up. And once the owner has selected an outcome, it will move them down to the correct phase. So either they attended and we'll send that message and get them to join membership. If they signed up, we can just add them to our members. And if they didn't show up, then we can add them as a no-show, and that will trigger the other automations to follow up with them and get them to rebook as well. So yeah, that's the process of how it works behind the scenes. That's one of the automations. And we can now go over the costs and everything associated with this, what you actually need to set up to get everything working. So this will help you obviously get to that level 3. And here are the costs. So you can pause it if you want to have a little bit more of a look in depth. It depends if you're, US and Canada or UK. But typically, depending on the usage, because some of it's based on the amount of messages that are sent. But I would say typically, US and Canada, you'd expect 100 to 110 USD, and UK around $90 to $100 a month, which, given the amount of time it saves you, the fact that like each time you get a new student, the average value of a jiu-jitsu student is like around $2,000, sometimes more. That's when you count how long that member will stay with you, like the total lifetime revenue you'll get for them. So if you're getting an extra student or two every month from this, then that obviously more than pays for it. A lot cheaper than a receptionist, and yeah, saves you a load of time, frees you up to do other stuff as well. Then let's go over what it is that I do. So we'll set up the system that I've worked on over the last year and a half, and yeah, like I say, I've not seen anything quite like this set up, and definitely not specifically for jiu-jitsu academies, and not in any other niches, to be honest. So I'll set up all of the website pages, so that will be updated with your branding, your details, and your classes. We've got the adult booking page, adult thank you, and the adult payment page. If you have kids at your academy, I'll do the same for the parents pages. If you've got an academy that does gi and no gi, or you want to, or I don't know, you have like kickboxing or Krav Maga or whatever other classes that you offer, then you can have that as a separate thing if you want people to book those classes separately. So I can do 2 lots of those. Then automations, we will set this up separately. So we've got the adults ones and the parents ones for the reminder, the rebooking, and the follow-up. Then the additional setup will be for in the US and Canada. There's this application to person 10 DLC setup, which took me a couple hours the first time. You've got to create a privacy policy. You've got to give examples of the types of messages you're going to be sending and make sure that they're legally compliant. So yeah, it took a while for me to set up the first time. yeah, so there's that if you're in the US and Canada. There's KYC registration in the UK, which I haven't done yet, but that's supposed to kick in by the end of March 2025. So we'll see. I don't know exactly what that entails yet, but that will be included as well. And then additional updates, so like unlimited updates based on any changes to your classes or policies, preferences, anything like that. And then you get automatic improvements as the system improves overall and continues to get better, like it has over the last year and a half. And for all of that stuff, rather than charging like a $500 setup fee for everything and then $100 monthly maintenance fee to update and maintain everything, which I do think would be fair given the work that's gone into it and the fact that you're going to get a load of extra students, save a load of time, have more opportunities. But for the first 10 academies, I'm trying out, basically because I do web design, that's like my main area really. This is just a side project that turned out working out really, really well. I'm hoping that a lot of the people I work with will end up getting websites with me, and I'm going to offer for the first 10 people to do this process completely for free. So I will set up all the stuff that I showed in that previous slide. You'll just pay like the base costs, so you have to pay for the software and everything, and I'll set up everything for free. And we'll see if that works, or if I just end up creating loads of extra work for myself and no new clients. But yeah, we'll try that for the first 10 people. So if you do want to get on this, then book a call with me and I can answer any specific questions. If there are any things that didn't quite make sense about this, it takes a while sometimes to wrap your head around it, or maybe see how this would work specifically within your situation and your academy. So yeah, you can book a call with me, and on that call, either we can just get things set up on that call, or if for whatever reason doesn't feel like it's going to work with your particular situation, then that's fine as well. So yeah, booking a call. Hopefully if there's still slots left, then I can set everything up for you. And yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know if you've got any questions, and yeah, take care. Cheers.